I know it looks like a desktop screensaver, but that's just San Diego. Beautiful sunset off in the distance and the perfect backdrop for the 2024 High School All-American game. With my broadcast partners Ryan Roland Smith, Jonathan Mayo, and Sandy Charles down on the field, I'm Greg Caserta, and now we're joined by the manager for the national team, Brian Hunter. Happy to have him aboard, and we really appreciate you taking some time because we know you've got to handle a lot of big names down there.
Oh, it's a lot of big names here. It's some good baseball going right now, and, you know, we're in lovely San Diego.
Brian, I wanted to ask you sort of, I know you've been involved in a lot of the efforts Major League Baseball's had, the MLB develops and things like that. Talk a little bit about the sort of transition from continuing on to this game and what you've seen from those efforts in terms of helping young players reach the next level, whether it's college or the pro game.
You know, it's been amazing. I've been doing it now with the Breakthrough Series and since 2017, and you know, we're seeing kids coming and coming and coming. They're making us coach them really hard. They're picking up everything that we're trying to teach them, and they're pushing us as coaches to try to make those better players.
We asked Howie Kendrick, and I spoke to him last inning, just talking about like speaking the language of these kids now, because they talk differently in regards to exit velocities and launch angles and everything else. Is that something like, you know, from obviously your generation, a lot different? Is that something the last couple of years that you feel like you've had a really good impact and a chance to talk to them, and are you able to speak some of the analytics when it comes to coaching some of these kids?
They're teaching us and me period about the analytics stuff. You know, a lot of the guys last week when we were in the area codes in Long Beach, they were talking about barrel. Oh, he put it on the barrel, but I'm like, it's an out. You know, I don't care how hard you hit it if it's a hit. You know, I just want you to hit as hard as possible.
Brian, can you talk about some of the guys that you have a deeper connection with? Maybe you've been with them at multiple events, or maybe you had a connection with them through different back channels? You know, we have a really exceptional 26 class. We got Rookie Shepard, Anthony Murphy, Caleb Traylor. We got quite a few guys that's on the way, and probably most of those guys may be here next year.
Brian, you're sort of talking about this next generation of player. Obviously, when you came along, all this showcase stuff didn't exist. I mean, when you sit back, do you say like, man, I wish I had some of this stuff to help me figure things out, or are you just grateful that this generation has access to this kind of information and to former big leaguers like you?
I mean, I'm super excited for them. You know, we didn't have, in my generation, we didn't play baseball year round. You know, my high school, I played all three sports. You know, this time of year, I'm playing football. You know, it's not even thinking about baseball. But you know, I like to watch it as much as possible. I'm from Southern California. You know, we can play year-round here. And just these kids getting after it every single day, it's amazing how they can, you know, they can do it. You know, and then we talk to them about, you know, if you really want to be a big leaguer, you got to play every day. So you can't say you're tired.
Is there one guy you're watching, whether it's on the national team that you're heading up right now, or on the American team? There's one or two that you're looking at going, man, this kid is going to have the kind of career that I've had, that long career in the big leagues that you can just kind of project just by watching them, just by being around them?
You know, I can be a little. I've had Quentin Young, and I've had Anthony Pack for, you know, since he was an 8th grader working with him, Pack. But Q Young, he's following in his uncle's footsteps. You know, you saw his two uncles play. You know, he has a chance to be a first-round pick like his uncles.
Another thing that stood out for me in your career, you knew how to run. You could steal. 74 steals, led the majors with the Tigers in '97, led the American League 2 years later with Seattle. So we've got some burners out there. Who's the guy that you pick in a foot race?
Well, I gotta stop you there. I think you're talking about the other Brian Hunter. Remember him? I was the Brian Hunter that hit the home runs with the Braves. You know, the other Brian was the skinny one that stole the bases. But
he had the speed, you had the power.
He had the speed, and I had the power. But you know, Pack and run. We saw a couple guys stealing bases right now. You know, it's a different type of game. You know, in our era, you know, it was get on base, steal a base, score a run. You know, with the 1, 2, 8, 9. But right now, you know, they just really want the guys to swing the bat.
So what's next for you, Brian? What do you got coming up in terms of events after this one?
This is my last event. My youngest son is a redshirt sophomore at San Diego State playing football. So come August 31st, I'll be going to, you know, his football games.
Well, enjoy it. Enjoy the time with your family, and definitely enjoy the off season. We'll definitely see you on the next one, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me.
A pleasure. As we continue along here in the top of the third, left-hander Alex Barr, after we saw the lefty Jack McKernan in the top of the inning. Our second look at Ethan Holliday. Holliday grounded out to the starter Landon Harmon his first time. And now he's behind in the count, 1-2.
Greg, I'm with you though, man, because the two Brian Hunters, there's been times where I've met the other Brian Hunter and I said, hey man, when you played with the Braves, when you were playing with so-and-so team, he goes, no, that's the other Brian Hunter, man. I'm with you. They both profile different, but the other one you're talking about played with the Houston Astros, had the speed. See Ethan Holliday left on left matchup. Getting frozen by that fastball.
And amazingly, that is the first strikeout for American pitching.
To your point, Ryan, as we said, we did this game last year. You usually see a lot of Ks. And in this case, the fact that they're putting the ball in play has been pretty impressive.
No, I love it. Seeing that contact, being able to they're not getting overwhelmed by that velocity. I know the kids at this level, especially some of the travel ball programs they're on, they do see some plus velocity, but not 4 at-bats, that's for sure.
There's another stolen base, giving Sean Gamble a chance with a runner in scoring position. Kason Cunningham can always make things happen. Now keep an eye out on him because he did get caught stealing at third after a single in the first inning.
Some tough at-bats for the left-handed hitters.
That's now the 5th stolen base in this game. We're only in the 3rd. And that time it's easy. No throw, standing up. Cunningham on back-to-back pitches gets himself 90 feet away.
That time he picked a good pitch to go on.
Yeah, he's got that big leg kick as well. That's the other part of it. We're talking about the scouts just picking up that last piece, right? How polished can they throw that breaking ball, that secondary pitch when they're behind the strike zone? Can they, quick step, slide step? They're going to have to do that once they get to professional baseball. Can they hold runners?
And that's what some of the scouts had told me, that Arma's secondary stuff still needs work. The fastball has really good shape. It's got good invertical, inverted vertical break. But the secondary stuff, as you tried there again, has been a little more inconsistent.
Alex Barr from DeMott, Indiana, committed to the Hoosiers. So not straying too far from home. 43 strikeouts in just 19 innings on the mound this year. Brings up Xavier Nyans.
I jumped the gun in my pitching order.
Alex Barr, yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Nyans, Washington's Gatorade Player of the Year. Runners at the corners and strike one.
So I now give the correct scouting report on Alex Barr. We've seen the fastball, low 90s. He's got a curve and a slider. He actually can pitch off his curveball. He's having a little trouble with his secondary stuff here today, but in general, actually pitches off his breaking stuff really well. Can add and subtract to it.
Nyans, one of my favorite players here out of Mount Vernon, Washington. And Ryan mentioned Oregon State before. That's where he's committed to right now. Right now, a two-way guy, big pop from the left side. And that stays high, 2-1.
Yeah, Oregon State. He committed to them back in 9th grade, but they watched him, Coach Canham and Rich Dorman, who the pitching coach. I spoke to him yesterday about Xavier. Just love his makeup. As a kid, obviously that goes a long way, especially as a 9th grader all the way, and just watch how much bigger he's gotten, developed. Then he had that 2020 COVID period where he had the weight room in his house, built a little field where he could keep swinging.
Everybody had the homemade garage gym during COVID. Find what you can and lift it up. 2-2. There's strike 3. Grinlinger steals a couple from behind the plate and gives Barr his second strikeout to close out the 3rd. Nationals still up 2-1.